Wednesday night, we're all in sight. 9 o'clock, it's shining bright. Turn the dial and feel the might. Just enough Heshy take flight. Woo! Laughs and wisdom side by side. Heshy show won't be denied. Tune in live and ride the tide. Feel the rush and feel the pride. It's just enough Heshy. Wanna vote for Heshy? It's just enough Heshy. Join the crowd, it's messy.
No. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Just Enough Heshy show. And take a guess who I have back here, my friend Tom. A wonderful course. We have a lot to talk about. I have a lot to thank him about. Tom, you are great for me. Tom helped me get on the ballots. Tom is calling everybody. Tom has been my solid as a rock for me. He's been my confidant. And Tom, I want to thank you so much for everything you've done to pull me through these last few months. There is about 5 more days to go, so I want to welcome my YouTube fans, my Instagram, my Facebook fans. In a couple of minutes, we're going to welcome our live 30,000 or 60,000 listeners. 100,000, I thought it was. As long as somebody's listening to the show. And by the way, everybody, this is our last show before the election. So come on out. I want you to come and get me elected. I want you guys to come help me on Election Day, March 25th. You can call into the campaign and go to the website. It's so important that you join me and make me elected, because me and Tom are going to talk about this election.
Absolutely. We're having a little bit of an audio issue according to some in the chat, so if our producer may want to check it out. We're going to leave that at that.
We're having an audio issue. Do you know about that? I told him to reboot the system.
Let's give him a pass. Let's give the producer a pass here. We'll let the chat tell us, yeah.
Okay. Instagram fans don't have it, and I get you to hear the music one more time. I want you to know, my dear friends from Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook.
Yes.
You don't know how much, I know you listen to me talk every week for a few minutes, but you don't know how much effort that it went into it. And people constantly, even my own team, tells me how I mess up, how I'm not on top of my game, and I'm trying, I'm macromanaging, I'm looking at everything, and things still go wrong, but my team has put in a lot of effort. We've worked from early morning to 11, 12 o'clock at night in meetings, from doing budgets with our treasurer, going over every penny and re-going every penny again, being careful, filing her reports, refiling her reports, our campaign manager screaming at me, telling me this is no good and you have to do this again, Heshy, and practice your speech, and he writes me a new speech, and then I call in the middle of the night, I have an interview, let me prep you, and then he sees the ad like this with a beautiful editorial and write-up in the Jewish press.
Yes.
But then again, I had New York One that promised to make a nice video about me, and they started too, but then at the end, if you notice, he spoke to this guy, Lewis. Oh, Heshy started a fight and beat up somebody at the thing, which is not true. Of course I called somebody Moise, but everybody else was doing it. They didn't mention that. They didn't mention that the police called me to come down to stop the thing, and why didn't they control it? Just like they don't control the protests. This is what goes on in this city. Illegal stuff. You have the people in the administration doing whatever they want, getting away whatever they want, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Cuomo. We're going to talk about what's her name,
Rodney's Bashat, the Democratic chairwoman of
this lady. I thought had some kind of morals. Whether she puts up over
the Democrats in Brooklyn have morals. The Democratic Party in Brooklyn.
She threw out Cuomo for doing sexual molestation, and now she lets him back in. Not because that he was found not guilty, the charges are dropped. So why aren't you backing Mayor Adams? Same thing, the charges are dropped.
Because they don't want to go with the loser. It's like anybody else.
Well,
it's like horse racing.
Well, Cuomo raised a lot of money.
Yes,
but
1.5 million.
Right, and Mayor Adams only raised like about $20,000.
19,000.
But I raised much more than anything, and I promise.
We're having some audio issues here. Apparently, some in the chat are saying that we sound like Stephen Hawking, throat cancer patients with an electronic voice, and I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I told him to reboot.
We're trying to fix it, but Heshy, we're going to go. I know we have some of our radio listeners have joined us.
Yes,
here.
welcome to our radio fans.
WJPR 1640 AM, WNEW, the legendary WNEW 1027, and WSNR flagship 620 AM. And years ago, if you were a fan of Heshy, he used to be in the 620 AM studios there in beautiful Gravesend, Brooklyn, off Coney Island Avenue.
And now we're here with audio problems because my guy wouldn't listen to me and reboot the system, but it's not working. He's not even listening to the show.
We're getting a thumbs up, so I mean, I don't know what the issue is here in the chat, but we're going to talk for the next 55 minutes. Give us a call, 646-974-1581. That's 646-974-1581.
The first thing I want to do is I want to talk about, and I want him to put the ad up for the HeshyTishler.com.
Yes.
And I have so many people. We're doing great. We've raised the money. We're raising for round 2. We've gotten about 1,000 signatures door to door for round 2.
Yes, we're right around that number.
So we have it. We are also going to knock for district leader. We're going to have Abraham for district leader. We're going to have Tehila because we're going to get rid of Sawyer and Kala. These are two guys who voted for Democrats to be on the ballot instead of Republicans. I mean, I don't want to knock Sawyer, but I hate her so much. I helped this woman. I
you
took care of
were on wrestling. I tell you what.
I helped her. I took her off the street, and then she tried to screw me and tried to cheat me, and she even had her son threaten me. I mean, she just.
Is there anything we can do to fix the audio? Because I'm getting like chats still from the comments, and I have. Let us know here in the chat, how do we sound right now? Because I think our producer just attempted to fix it, so maybe
he didn't fix it. He came late. He was busy.
Let's give him a pass. Let's give him a pass because he could cut off us periodly, and then you won't be a councilman.
He does that anyways.
You won't be a councilman.
He cuts us off anyways. But is it working?
I'll let the chat. You must fix. We're trying to fix it. We are trying to fix. So we sound like we're in witness protection programs. Boy, I went from wrestling to this. Thank you, everybody here in the chat. But if you are here right now and you can hear us,
one
let
good
us know.
show, just one good show. But there's no such thing with this one,
I think we sound better now. Somebody said we're better now. Okay. Good. Thank you, everybody.
I want to give a shout out, of course, to my granddaughter Mira Nava and Layla Tamar, and my grandson Benjamin Hill, and my other grandson Yeshua, who's running around and talking left and right, doesn't shut up, and Ahuva, who climbs over me. This 10-month, 11-month-year-old could just, wow, I forgot what babies are like, man. Thank God. And of course, Sergeant Peter, I love you. Thank you so much for whatever you do for us in the community and put your life on the line and always taking care of me. And Ellie, don't forget about me. And who are you shouting out to?
I like to thank the people of the 44th Council District that have put us in this position that I think that you're going to win this race. I mean, I've met countless people here throughout this district from 61st Street, where our district boundaries
go to my website. What's my website?
HeshyTishler.com, JustEnoughHeshy@gmail.com. We're at 5318 16th Avenue in the center of the district. So if you have some time between now and Tuesday, please get out there. Heshy can win this. And I want to thank the people of this district. I mean, almost 1,000 people, as you stated, have signed a petition for you this time.
But but not only the petition, we also have a caller list. We have people coming out for us, and there's only 235 people, early voters.
239,
239. We need you to come out there. We need to build Felder. I did first of all, I want to do a quote. Yeah. I want to give you a quote and joke so we can start the show. And it's really for me. This time it's for me. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter the words, but to live by them. And I'll tell you why I said this quote. And things do not happen. Things are made to happen. And a negative mind will never give you a positive life. I had a meeting tonight with a bunch of my local community people. in reference to a project that I'm going to be helping them with. And they're saying, Heshy, your name is not out, or we thought you were crazy from before. Yeah, we see you normal, but you got to polish your act. I said, listen, I got my name out. I had no name before, and I want your help, and I know you guys want my help, but they were giving me a whole bunch of advice with 5 days to go, and I have people coming over to me, Heshy, why don't you open up a mental health clinic for the people who commit suicides? But I do go visit them. We do have one like that, and nobody supports it. We give $100-something million to our community for special needs kids, but each kid only gets $15 or $20. Where's that money? Why isn't Simcha
I
Felder?
think that's a question that when you get in there next week, you'll be able to address it.
And then they're telling me about, Heshy, how come you're not addressing postpartum depression? But I have. How come you're not addressing people who come home from jail? I said, people who live by me. Oh, how come we don't know these things about you? How come we don't know about your soup kitchen? I said, I understand. I've been talking about it and telling you about it. And all you're busy is with, these guys who came in today were trying to reach Simcha Felder, my competitor, for months. Finally, today, they got in touch with one of my friends that I gave them. I said, here, he'll get you in touch with Felder. Mm-hmm. And they finally got in touch with Felder. Felder is going to sign a document for them. Sometime at the homeless shelter. Now, here's a guy who was nowhere to be found for months and months and months. And all of a sudden, he wakes up. Me, when they called me, he couldn't believe, Heshy, you pick up on your first call. Why'd you call me? You're the only one that showed up at the protest. I'm the one that made that protest. Lester Chang, the assemblyman who does nothing, had like 11 people come to this protest. I sent out the word, not a few hundred people. The Jews didn't even know about it till I got them on there. I'm the one who invited Curtis Lewa. People, when they're in trouble, they come to me. And here's your time. Here's your chance. My listeners, send out messages to your friends. My people out there, tell your friends about me. Go out there and vote somehow, some way.
This is the election to do it. We're looking at just a few thousand people to vote. We talked about it just a few minutes ago. 239 people have voted so far.
We need at least 3,000 people. I just want you to know, you have Anthony Weiner, who's coming back to the city council. This man is a sick predator, a sick man. And we're going to elect this sick man, and I'm not finished yet. We have Cuomo, another sexual predator, going to be mayor of the city of New York. This lady, what's her name, Rondiz
Bachat.
She got rid of Cuomo, told him to resign, screamed at him, wanted him to be arrested, and then what happened? She's now backing him for mayor.
Because they don't want to back a loser. Listen,
it's not losing money. He had the money, and he's paying them off. That's how the Democratic
But I think
Party
that,
makes their money.
I'm with you, but they want to go with the front runner. They think in their mind Andrew Cuomo's the front runner. Look at all
the only reason Andrew Cuomo's the front runner is he just announced, so it's exciting, and he raised money.
I think
but Mayor Adams doesn't have to raise money because Mayor Adams is the mayor, and all he has to do is show up on TV every single day.
Yeah, earn media, but
now you're right. No independent has ever won mayor election of New York City, at least in the last century.
Well, technically, Bloomberg was an independent, but got cross-endorsed.
He ran as a Republican.
Yeah, he was an independent, but got cross-endorsed. But I know what you're saying. Somebody that's run as a third party hasn't got elected to mayor.
But in the case of the mayor, if you ever know, there's a guy by the name of Lieberman that was senator.
Joe Lieberman, in Connecticut, yes.
And he lost the Democratic primary and then ran as an independent and won his senatorship. You know that?
Yeah, 2006. That was with during the Iraq War.
So the mayor has a lot of exposure. He doesn't even need the money and matching funds. All he has to do is get on television every day, and he makes a press conference and says whatever he wants, and people are going to just go after him. So we don't have to worry about Mayor Adams getting out there. Do you want the evil Cuomo who killed, who shut us down, who was anti-Semitic, who talked bad not only about the Jews, he also closed down Catholic churches in my neighborhood.
Listen, what he did, remember the bar on Staten Island that you went to the protest
bar in Staten Island,
Danny Presti, you were there for that with all those guys.
They arrested the guy. They chased him down.
They were closing bars mandatorily with no
restaurants,
reason.
Wedding halls, synagogues. They were peeking in windows of girls' school bathrooms. This is sick. And we allow Cuomo to do it. We allow
because people forget. Listen, we're a fast food.
You know what? I agree with everything. Shut it all down. You cause the parks an open area park where people are walking on the street. De Blasio is jogging in his park by Gracie Mansion, but all of us, they put a chain on our
because
parks.
it was like dictators. Do as I say, but they won't do it. And that's what it was those years ago. And you were the one, Heshy. I say it all the time to people in this district. You were the one. You didn't do that as someone who's Jewish. You did it as an American.
That's
you
right.
did it as somebody who
I
believed
went to
in
the black
people's
neighborhoods
values.
to open their parks. I went to Queens. I did one in the Bronx. I did Far Rockaway. I did many in Borough Park.
Williamsburg. You were in Williamsburg.
If I forgot about that
You
one,
better,
two in Williamsburg.
you better remember Williamsburg.
Yeah. That was a big one. Anyways, I want to give you so I want you to know something.
Yes.
I express my gratitude to all of you. I will never forget my appreciation to all the people, and I always live by those. So when those people came into me today, Heshy changed just to get elected. Don't you want to see the guy that's going there? I polished up my act. I wear a suit and tie. I'm not, and I'm very nice on the streets.
I hope
to
you'll
my
be
people.
like Fetterman, though. You know, when you
Right.
get in
I'm not
there.
going to wear like Fetterman sweats.
Did you
or
see
whatever.
him in Israel with like the hoodie? He had the hoodie on his shorts.
And he goes into the center like
Do you
that.
know my mother asked me this morning, will you be like Fetterman in City Hall for two of us? And I was like, well, let's get in there first.
Well, I'm not going to do that. All I know is that I know how to run a business meeting. I've always put on a suit, not all the time, usually just a shirt and pants. But now, I mean, nice pair of slacks and white.
Yeah.
But now, yes, I'm putting on your tie. Matter of fact, I have a whole bunch of ties. People are donating ties because I don't want Linda to spend $65. By the way, the other week I
You had a good tie place a couple blocks away from here, though. I passed by it
they're
here.
too expensive. So what I did was one day I had a beautiful tie that somebody gave me. It was like $100 tie.
Okay.
And when I was fixing the candles for Shabbos, I just lighted so Linda would I lit the tie on fire.
That should be your joke of the day.
Yeah. Anyways, here's my real joke of the day. When I was a young boy, I got a job in the summer working in a gas station.
Okay.
And so I was watching the senior coworker measure the level of gasoline under the gasoline tanks by lowering this giant measuring stick down into them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I was joking with him, and I said, "What would happen if I threw a lit match into the hole?"
That's a great question. Well, tell us
So
how.
he said it would go out right away. I said, really? I said, really? Because it's a lack of oxygen down there or some safety device that will extinguish it before the fumes ignite it? He said, no. He said the force from the explosion would blow out the match.
Well, that's our producer there giving a laugh.
Okay, good. That was funny.
Could
Come
be
on.
some political careers as a metaphor you were
That's
talking
right.
about there.
That's right. I had a couple of interviews with Channel 12 News.
Yes.
I had, which was pretty good.
Yeah, the News 12 one was a good one.
News
yeah.
12 was a good one, even though it was 1 minute, but it was pretty good.
No, it was good. It was very fair.
And they tried to show a picture of Felder more distinguishable. Then that was a 30-year-old.
New York One
picture.
showed a photo of him from like 10 years ago.
Right, and speaking over there, he can't even speak. So I'm going to change that on my version of the interview. And then New York One. saying that...
Dan Rivioli, yeah.
Right. He didn't do a bad interview, but then at the end of the thing, Felder's just going to ignore you, and then this guy, Lewis, whatever.
Errol Lewis, yeah.
Errol Lewis, he says, hey, she was an
Well,
instigator.
Errol Lewis is a biased journalist. He's,
Right.
listen, you got to remember, New York One, they don't know. Listen, I think it was a good piece overall.
Yeah.
I think I don't want to take away
But
from
you
the
know
reporters.
I didn't like Ezra Friedlander's why they went to Ezra Friedlander, a lobbyist, talking about Heshy Tischler.
Because they don't know people in the
Right, so
community.
they say
Come on.
Heshy Tischler is a disruptor. I'm not a disruptor. I'm a erupter. I'm the guy who makes things erupt the right way, that take these seeds and make it grow properly and get you into your homes, get your children into school, get you into college, get your houses finished, get you proper food for the weekends, help you get out of jail, fill out your paperwork. I get things done. Disruptor means I fight the red tape. I disrupt the red tape people sitting there doing nothing on their fat behinds.
Which is something you've talked about for the last 2.5 years. Yeah. One of the things that you want to do in city council is to fix the red tape, especially in departments like buildings, especially in housing.
Especially in housing.
Yep.
You know, the New York City Housing Authority has over 10,000 units that are not being used. And a lot of their apartments
and that's an issue that goes back actually for about 6 or 7 years.
And you're bitching about our rent control, our thing. We want to charge more rent. You're not even charging rent. You're leaving those apartments vacant. So you want us to keep our apartments vacant and rent your people, and then they don't let us evict when they don't pay rent.
Major issue during COVID. Listen, landlords were not able to charge any rent.
During COVID
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did, you know. but now you're taking those hits out
Well,
in the field.
I want you to know something.
Yes, sir.
That's another thing I'm going to go after. You know, Pam Bondi, by the way.
Yes, Pamela Bondi.
Pamela Bondi. Pamela Bondi.
Attorney General.
She is. She didn't listen to the judge. What's his name again? They want to impeach him. His name is, I forgot his name.
Bossberg?
No, Judge Boasberg.
Yeah, Boasberg.
Okay? So he told the people that we have to turn around a plane. Are you listening to me?
I am.
Turn around a plane full of gang members and bring them into New York City. Are you crazy?
They are, apparently. Well,
I heard that plane wasn't turned around. They did.
Well, I mean, when you have people like Alvin Bragg, you have all these different judges that get appointed. They have, their way of doing things.
People getting stabbed, people getting killed, and now you're bringing more gang members here. You know, this guy that is being deported and arrested, Khalil. What's his name again? Khalil.
Does it matter?
It doesn't matter, but the guy who ran the Columbia. His name is Muhammad Khalil.
Muhammad Khalil.
So he blames anti-Palestinian racism for the arrest of by ICE. Now here's a guy that we allowed into the country. Rubio said it best.
Yes, I did hear that.
We allowed you into the country on a guest visa. On a student visa. Now, we had to ask you a bunch of questions. Now, if you would have told us you were coming to the country to protest and to say kill America and destroy Columbia University and hold janitors hostage in their rooms, we wouldn't have let you in. So you came in. You lied. Now you're going. You lied. You're going. You would have never got in the first place. You're a guest here. I understand you want to protest in your country. You want our
But the
people.
guests have more rights than the people that actually live here in this country, Heshy. We have talked about this in the past. You have been talking about this for years.
Right.
There is two sides of the rules here in this country.
There's another lady, Jeanette Vizigura, whatever, another protest person. Now, she came to this country as a guest.
Yep.
She got asylum in a church, stayed there for 89 days, and finally they said, okay, we let you stay. And then she comes out and always hides around. She's illegal completely. Now she's getting her paperwork together because of the asylum stuff. And now she's going out to protest against America again. Okay, Palestinian protests, whatever. The American policy is, you're a guest in this country. I have a right to protest. I have a right to go against what the president says and say what it is, but in a lawful manner, not destroy Columbia University.
Well, it's almost like what you talked about a couple weeks ago when we saw Trump deliver his speech, where there were people that were just they were protesting, or in the members of Congress, they were jeering him. I mean, you would, whether you agree with the president or not, at the very least you hear him speak. But you do it,
and you also get permission. Those people had permission. These Palestinian protests, they don't have permission. They don't have permits.
Well, look at the one right here on Day Hill Road, right in this district. But it's not even that.
You're closing up streets. You're stopping our businesses. You're stopping our lives. You're not allowing us to get home to our children and families. You're costing us not a few $1,000s. If you add up all the thousands of people you're holding back, it's a few $1 million.
Absolutely.
And you're getting paid. I saw an ad in one of the Craigslist that they're willing to pay people $1,000 to come out to protest.
Well, I guess people need a job.
I know.
Tough economy.
And I'm thinking of accepting one of those Palestinian things.
You know what? You might have better luck with this than your own job, right?
I know. And just like the homeless shelter, I'm fighting a homeless shelter. And people are saying to me, Heshy, a nerve of you. You let people in homeless. I have my own homeless. I have my own homeless in Borough Park. I have 80 girls on the street that I'm trying to find places for every night. I have boys smoking pot and committing suicide. I don't have after school programs, for the boys. The girls, we have some kind of a house that takes them in, and only 10, 12 girls.
Yep.
Then we have a few other schools, and they're getting pregnant, or older men are taking advantage of them, or they're sleeping on the street. These are the people I want to take care of. Now you're going to bring me other homeless people who are doing drugs, who are abusing their wives. I mean, and you need security. At least my people don't need the security.
No. It's a major thing. You've been talking about this for a couple years now. Mental health, how important.
But then Lester Chang shows up.
Yep, the assemblyman.
Now here's the problem.
Accidental assemblyman.
I give him credit for fighting the homeless shelter.
Okay.
But here's my problem. You had 2 years to do it. Now you wake up. After they're approved and permitted. So everybody says, how are you going to stop them, Heshy? Nobody else can stop them. Number one, I looked into it. I looked at their plans. They're not code compliant.
Okay.
Number two, they don't have the proper permits to have built that place. So I'm going to get that job put back into audit, withdraw their C of O, and most likely, listen to me, Mr. Developers, I'm going to get that place vacated. This is what I do. I usually do the opposite way. I get your places open. So if you don't think I know how to close it, it's much easier to close than to open.
And you know, Heshy, it's interesting you bring this up because this is a problem throughout southern Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're doing another one right now in Bath Beach.
Coyle Street, which Superfly was just at right over there on Avenue U. They want to do one there. They've been fighting one just outside of our district on Kings Highway, right off Stillwell Avenue. Bath Beach, you mentioned.
But you know, so you're saying, well, hey, look at all these places you couldn't stop. There was one on Avenue T and Coney Island Avenue.
Yes.
I made a video. I dealt with the owners. I dealt with the community, and I got them to stop building the shelter. I got the community to put together money to buy this building off of this developer and make it into a hotel. Now, you tell me that I'm able to do it in a peaceful manner, which I threatened to stop them, and I started the procedure. So if you get me there in time, I could do it. So if I was able to do it once, why can't I do it again? But if you don't trust me...
But you know, Heshy, I want to talk about this for a second because this is something that the city is not doing a job. You talked about helping homeless people, right? You talked about trying to address
homeless
them.
people, my city
Yes,
homeless people.
but here's the thing. The city, and this is really where it does start with the mayor, they have just been wanting to dump homeless into places that these people aren't from. So if you want to give them help, whether it's job training or mental health or whatever type of things that we can do to, you know, help or rectify the situation, we're not putting them in places. We're just dumping homeless shelters in places. You know, Staten Island, there was 3 put in a short period of time. They want to put another one out there. They've been fighting in Queens, a bunch of shelters here in Southern Brooklyn.
But
in
they
this
have
district.
no system.
And
the
that's the
money
problem.
They're getting is, I don't even
they're
know
not
where,
doing, but they're just
I don't know where the money's coming from.
But they just want to put these shelters because these developers, what do you think? They're contributing to the campaigns of people like Eric Adams and all the other city elected officials.
Yeager. You know, Carmen Yeager, like I told you before, Carmen Yeager knew about this shelter 2 years ago. When it got approved, his community board that he controls,
Number 12.
25 people over there,
Number 12.
He allowed it, and he told them, don't open it till after I leave for a month that nobody knows about it. And then when it's open, there's no councilman there, nobody will stop you. Now, the community board, of course, when we were there, a few hundred people showed up there, maybe even more, 1,000, and I spoke. So now the community board is not recommending it. You should have not recommended it 2 years ago. You should have got
because
involved
they felt
they
pressure this time. Whereas if they wouldn't have had that pressure, they wouldn't have came out and supported it. And that's the problem.
Right. And 2 years ago, they also had the meeting during COVID, and they didn't let anybody come and talk about it. They didn't let anybody speak who was
They were doing it on Zoom, right?
Right, and they didn't let and they shut people down who wanted to get on the list. The only reason I got on the list now is because I threatened it. They know I was candidate, and I told them when I get elected,
you might be very good chance to be the councilman.
25 people on that council that I, as councilman, am responsible for, and I know I only appoint 4 or 5 a year, but I'm going to make sure they're all fired. I don't know how, but I'm going to hire a lawyer. I'm going to get the city
That's
council.
why you got to help Heshy right now. If you want
These
change,
are guys who do nothing.
Just enough
They're
Heshy at gmail.com.
They're supposed to help with garbage. They're supposed to help with shoveling. If not for me talking to the sanitation, half my blocks wouldn't be shoveled. And I pick the blocks. They're nowhere to be found half the time. Garbage is not being picked up. Some of my streets are...
I've noticed it. Listen, I've been in this area
because
here
we
recently.
lost the extra garbage truck.
I mean...
but they're busy giving us tickets.
You got to see where it's like 17th Avenue, 18th
Right.
Avenue, 13th Avenue, 16th, 14th.
And the traffic backups are so crazy.
Oh, you just before, a little while ago, I was a few blocks from here from the office, and there was just... I don't even know how this bottleneck happened. Right. It was just one car.
I just had to... Today they were doing illegal fixing of the streets without...
Yes, I did see that, yes.
And there's like 20 of them.
Right by your house?
Right,
What they
and you
doing
think
that?
the politicians... So I parked my car in the corner, there was no sign. So when I come out, the car is gone. I said, where's my car? They look it over Staten Island. I said, are you crazy? Then he says, no, we parked it on 12th Avenue and 43rd Street. I said, can you give me a ride there? Why did you move it? Well, we waited for you. I said, why did you put up a sign? Why didn't you knock on everybody's door? We're local. Did you even try?
No.
Oh, you would have put up a sign the day before, but they're opening up streets, and our politicians are not even telling us what streets. They're letting them do it for months.
Because our politicians haven't been challenged or had to face to the voters.
It's a $500 million contract just in Borough Park alone. $500 million contract, and sometimes you see some of these guys standing around doing nothing.
Yeah, and people are agreeing with you in the chat. Shauna Sandberg, thank you, Shauna, said that the shoveling in the city is atrocious. Superfly said the street sweep they don't use. China also
No, but
says
they do. They have a sanitation guy following the street sweeper, and all he does is tickets while the
Here in
street
Borough Park?
They just give tickets. And sanitation day, if you're down 20, 30 minutes, but you don't even have the street sweeper here. He either came or he's not coming that day. All you know is how to ticket us. And that's a problem. And you can't. They know we're not filing the $50 tickets. Yesterday was thank your transit worker day. Now, why would I
thank them for what?
Right, thank them for what? For having buses running late. It gets even worse.
Trains are all dirty.
But they're busy.
late.
The bus drivers are busy now giving tickets to people making left and right turns. But they should be concentrating on their driving and passengers. They're busy because now I hear they get a bonus for every ticket that they issue through their bus pictures.
But that's the city, what they want. All they want to do is give tickets. Just like the speed cameras, right? All the speed cameras is about to create revenue for the city. Yeah. That's all it is.
Yeah, and you know, we could have stopped it. You know, Simcha Felder could have, when they came out with the speed cameras, Simcha Felder could have said, listen, I'm voting that these cameras can only be used for safety at parks and schools. He voted no. He said no.
Well, first of all, he's lying to his constituents that he can fight it because his cohorts, his radical leftists that he proudly supports in the state Senate, they're all for it. Yeah. So he has no influence to change anything.
And he voted for congestion pricing, just for your knowledge.
And he voted to change the term limits years ago to get himself another term in the city council. And that's helping him come back because now there was an article that the New York Post had. And I want to read this off here for the audience and everybody listening to this. Blow up Albany. This is from the New York Post editorial board. This is from this past weekend here. And think about it. The state faces a staggering $18.2 billion budget deficit until 2029. And get this, Simcha Felder's colleagues in the Senate majority who he's voted for, they want to add even $4 billion more on top of what Governor Hochul wants to add. So Simcha Felder and the Democratic Senate, they want to spend more of your money for no reason.
Tom, where's the money coming from? I'll tell you where the money's come from. They're going to raise our property taxes again, and there's nothing you can do about it. They're going to. That's why they're changing all you. I just got a fine for not letting the water meter company into my office, into my building, because I wasn't around.
Energy prices are going up through the roof.
Right. So what they're doing is they're changing our water meters. But I just got a water meter 12 years ago. It's not defective. It runs perfect, and it's been the same amount every month because we don't really change a lot. Maybe it goes up a drop, down a drop. So they're not happy. So they want me to replace the water meter with a new water meter of theirs. Why? Because the water meter runs faster and they're able to charge me more. This is their game, you people. And if you don't listen to it, they just add a fine to your bill every month. It's like they do whatever they want. You know, I went to a DOB court last week. And
congratulations.
I was fighting, oath court. I was fighting one of the prosecutors. And I showed them proof that I had the permit. I showed them the paperwork. I showed them the civil penalty fines. I showed them everything. I said, why would you not dismiss the ticket? Well, maybe it wasn't written right. I said, that's not what it says. The violation was for working without a permit. I had a permit. But maybe the other permit wasn't exactly. I said, no, it was a permit for mechanical, not for an electrical. Well, I used to be a contractor. And he went on and on and on and on of trying to find ways. I said, it's simple. I have the evidence that says it's not guilty. You have the evidence of nothing. I want to postpone the case. I said, but now you're postponing the case. It's another 3 months. That means I have to come back and I can't do my job and the stop work order stays in effect. He says, well, then pay the fine. I said, why should I pay a fine that I'm not guilty of? Just do the case. We're right here, right now.
Because they expect you to tap out and just go and pay it because they figure that, well, we'll raise you more.
If you pay the fine, it's automatically admission of guilt, and
you
have to wait
obviously.
Or appeal, and this way.
But a lot of people get, like you said, fooled because they think, well, if I just pay it now,
it goes away. The violation doesn't go away, and then there's a hidden penalty about it. And it's not only the DOB, it's the HPD, it's all of them, the Department of Finance. If you do something wrong, like you're using your basement as a home office, and the Department of Finance sees a sign or somebody tells them, they change your house from a 1 or 2 family house to a 2-family house and a commercial residence. Now your taxes have gone up by another 4,000 or 5,000 or 30%. Do you understand that to change it back, even if you don't use that basement, you're going to have to go and take about 2 years and file a set of plans and cost you, by me, an architect, $20,000 to put it, to restore it, not even just to legalize it. This is what the city does. They find ways to trick you without you knowing what's going on. And I'm upset. and I'm upset about it, and you guys don't want to hear it. I've been complaining about it. By the way, you know the city is paying for Cuomo's defense?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
$6 million. Do you know, and now Cuomo says, I'm going to put 5,000 cops in the street. Where are you getting the money
But he still said that he acknowledged that he signed the bail reform law where he, quote, said it wronged a terrible right. Well, that's the sole reason that the city has faced the issue with crime, because Cuomo and Simcha Felder signed that law. Simcha Felder was a part of the Democratic majority in 2019. Simcha Felder didn't raise objections. Simcha Felder didn't fight that law. Governor Cuomo proudly signed it. If you go out and elect Simcha Felder again, or you keep him in any office, he's going along with the Democrats. He's going along with the majority. You're going to say, you complain, but you're not going to get anything done. You have a chance now. Tuesday, polls are open. Yes, sir.
Do you know that Simcha Felder sold his $1 million house, didn't pay capital gains tax, bought a house in Jersey, which he says is a vacation house, and lives in a little apartment? Now, this is a man who lived in a 3-story house all his life. He has not family. Now he has lots of family that come visit and running around him. And he moved into a 1-bedroom apartment. So
because he wants to collect a pension. Right. So the state.
If you look at his house in Jersey.
Well, I haven't gone there. I'm in the. I'm working in this
house.
Yeah.
So you know that that's a house where he has his relatives and coming over, and it's not a vacation house. You should see what he poured into the house. I cannot pour that kind of money into.
This is the poster child for term limits. When you look at people like Simcha Felder, who has been in office before most of us have been even more.
Half the day he's not at the city council of Albany. He's a teacher and professor in a school. He's a treasurer of a campaign. The man doesn't even know. You know, he has Crohn's disease. He can barely talk to the public.
I'm not going to go after his personal stuff, but I'll tell you what I'm going to go after.
Not that I mind that he's not.
I will tell you what I will go after.
Not that I mind that he's not well, but he can't do the job. You don't even hear him talk.
But here's my problem with Simcha Felder. Simcha Felder, first of all, he left the city council in 2009, and then he came to the state senate and said we had to elect him to have a voice. But you're in the state senate, you're in the majority. You're supposed to represent this community and the surrounding neighborhoods. You have this huge influence.
Then you switched to Republican.
And now you switched to Republican. You went back to the Democrats, but now you want to go to the city council, the same city council that you left in 2010. And get this, he got reelected last year, literally just a few short months ago. So you took an oath to represent the people of the 22nd Senate District, from the neighborhoods of Borough Park to beautiful Marine Park, to now you're telling those people that you just got reelected by that you don't want the term. You want to go to the city council. Why? Because your state pay is being capped, and that income that you had, which was upwards to $300,000 to $400,000 a year, is down the tube. So you figure, let me go to the city council. I'll get a little bit more money than I'm in the Senate. I'll not have to do nothing. I'll vote once a month and never have to show my face. And I can get away with it because it's do as I say and everybody else. And that's the problem.
He drives him from Jersey, and that's it. And he doesn't even have to pay tolls. Now, I want to tell you something that was very good about the crime. And everybody tells me, Heshy, crime is down, crime is down, crime is down, crime is down. So I want to just tell you something.
Yep, I'm listening.
A veteran NYPD captain in charge of Transit District 20 in Queens has been transferred and can face disciplinary action for downplaying subway crime stats. Now, why would you do that? What did you gain?
That's a great question.
Because he wanted to show how good of a job that he does in his district and his area. This way he gets a raise and he gets moved up from captain to lieutenant.
And that's where he'll do nothing there, then collect a pension, and then he'll go into security, and he'll be like everybody else that's
so
is in a position. So when they tell
you crime is down, whatever, you don't believe it for a minute.
No.
Do you like this lady, Press Secretary Caroline Levitt?
What are we talking about? Looks, or are we talking about what she does?
She's a married woman.
Yes, we know that.
And she is brilliant. The way she talks to them, responds to them, and tells them, listen, you know, I also want you to know everybody's upset that President Trump is retracting a lot of Biden's pardons.
He had more executive orders, in the first month.
The pardons alone was like, I think Trump did like 150 to 500, and he did like 2,000, 2,500 pardons.
Yeah.
Now what's coming out is Biden didn't even sign those pardons. It was other people signing it. Biden didn't even know who he was pardoning.
Heshy, did you really expect, considering the state of Joe Biden?
And that's what Caroline Levitt said. Do you really believe that Biden?
The man, you talked about Simcha Felder not even being able to talk Joe Biden. Did we hear Joe Biden those last 2 years?
Simcha Felder's on the same track as Joe Biden. You can't put a guy in there who's not going to do the job. You know what? Here's the deal. We've been running this campaign since January through March.
Yep.
Can you tell me one thing Simcha Felder has done in 3 months? Has he shown up for the Palestinian protest?
I got a better
question. Did he come to the homeless shelter protest? Tell me what other things he's done.
I got a better answer for you. What has he done since the Democrats took over the Senate majority from the Republicans in 2018? Go back in he's very little. He's done, and that's my further point, is that Simcha Felder, who's going to go up in there to the city council, all the garbage that the city council is going to come up with, all their ideas. We have a city budget that's coming up here, right? City budget's got to be due by July 1st. By law, it has to be balanced. Do you want somebody that knows the city budgets, knows the city agencies, knows how to fight for this community, knows what agencies, knows what programs need in our community, or somebody who's going to go along, like famously when he was last in the city council, when Christine Quinn was elected speaker, he went to the bathroom. He went to the bathroom instead of voting for a speaker. Right. Why? Because he wanted to support her, but he couldn't support her at the time because of her values and what they were toward this community. That's the reason.
Are you listening to Tom? He knows the trickery and how to be politician. He won't face the fact or heads on any issues. He's a hider and he just wants his salary and his pension. You want this guy in power?
And has she moved to the mic a little bit? There, I want to hear a little more.
Is this the guy you want? Is the guy you want in power? Okay, no problem. And I'm just trying to tell you something.
Yeah, move your mic a little closer to you.
A little closer still?
Yeah, they want it.
No, because I think he shut it off.
He's worried about Tuesday, I guess.
Yeah, now, I want to ask you something. We're talking about Pam Bondi not listening to the judge.
Yes, sir.
So Trump said to Hochul, you have to stop congestion pricing.
They met, was it yesterday?
I thought it was last week.
Yeah, last week.
Now, she's not listening to him anyways. So if she can defy the president, why can't Pam Bondi defy some stupid judge?
That's a question that I think we're all asking ourselves. Yeah. And, Kathy Hochul, another dictator.
Gangsters and mobsters and murderers.
I do want to say hello to some people. Justin Parsley, who's here, I'd like to say hello to him. Welcome back.
Beauty, I like that.
Black Beauty wants to say she's the one having an issue with the voice. They want you to face to the mic. And,
hey, producer, fix my mic.
A lot of people are saying it's a scam with Felder, no tolls, inconceivable. And people want a community site for the fans of Heshy. Well, we're here Wednesday night, so please tune in and spread the word for us.
You to whatever. Now, I want to tell you about another person that is being deported. Is a Georgetown University researcher.
Okay.
And he was here on a student visa.
Okay.
And they were detained by Federal Immigration. You're right, he didn't do anything much, but he went to, he accuses and is opposing American foreign policy. Now, who are you to oppose in my country and make protests for American... and masked agents arrested this guy, Badar Khan Suri, an Indian national. I mean, nothing to do with Palestine, okay? And he doesn't care. Just to cause trouble, and you know that he has no money, he's broke. There's no way he's a researcher for a university, a student, and he has no money. How is he going to protest and take days off?
Well, I guess it's your earlier, we were talking about this with the $1,000 on Craigslist to protest. I mean, Heshy, you have better luck doing that. I want to say hello to Sophie and Stella who are listening. Thank you for Superfly letting us know that. Sophie and Stella, thank you for tuning in. If you are here, hit the sub button for us, Just Enough Heshy. Also, come on down to the office between now and Tuesday. 5318 16th Avenue, right next to Cafe. Come on down, get your walking shoes. We'll give you a list. You want to go distribute some flyers, put some posters up, talk to some people on the phone. If you're not even near the district, email us. We'll get you a call list, justenoughheshy@gmail.com.
Yeah, beautiful.
And if you want to call in tonight, 646-974-1581. And we're here right now. I mean, so
do you know in Colombia, if you want to just complain about the Colombia, the students could protest in Colombia. Okay,
listening.
let's say that again. We'll let you protest in Colombia, and then let's just say, you know what? You had a right to kidnap and lock up and scare Jewish students. Okay, whatever, and scream bad words and say kill America and kill the Jews. Let's just say the two janitors that were stuck and you made them and you actually kept them as hostages in the building. It's a right to do that, but you guys drew swastikas. The one thing that the Jews don't like is the swastika. You drew it, and it took the janitors days to take it off. You drew the swastika. So whatever you want to say about free Palestine, you went and drew a Nazi swastika that killed Americans, that killed Arabs, that killed Jews, that killed Polish, and all across the world. You are now representing not the Palestinians, you represent the Nazis.
Those people, they're sick. What's the word that Mark Lemieux said? Mental illness. They have a real mental illness.
You know, I was told today, who is supporting you? City, I forgot what the name of the people that called me for an interview today. They're called City something.
City Streets?
City Streets.
Okay. So what they have to say?
He called me, a guy, Chanel, called me.
And Daniel Sweet, your next door neighbor, wants to say hello.
Oh, Danny, how are you? He's in Colombia right now.
Well, Daniel, hope you voted for us.
So this guy asked me who supports you, who endorses you. So I gave him the Rabbi of the Mushalu, Rabbi the Kalish Rabbi. I gave him a few of the local police officers that support me.
And he was like, well, what elected officials do you have, right?
Right. So I also told him some of the safety organizations, and I mentioned Shemira and Shomer.
Yeah.
So he ended up calling Shemira, and Shemira said, well, we are 501c, we can't endorse anybody. I don't know why a Gooder who's a 501c endorses different candidates for president and so on. There are many 501cs that endorse it, many unions or organizations that are organizations that shouldn't be endorsing. And here's my point. I helped these guys with the houses. I told them I don't want to help them again. They get in trouble again. They come back to me. My own son says, don't help them, Pop. And you know what? I help them. All I ask is, I don't even want your organization.
Well, you know what? You have to help
I don't
them.
want their organization to endorse me. You as a private citizen can endorse me. And still he would, because if I endorse you, it's like the operation. No. You say Shemira is separate. I, as a person, endorse Heshy Tishley.
But you know what? As a person, when you're a councilman, you help people. It doesn't matter if they voted for you or not. And that's what you're going to do next week.
Right.
And Black Beauty did want to say that, did you hear about the swastika painted on Israeli's Tesla?
Yeah.
So let's talk about it.
No, I'm not even talking about painting a swastika, just drawing up what ignorant loser, sometimes I see a black person do it, and I say, why are you doing a swastika? Do you know that he was after you guys too? And you see sometimes a Latino guy. Why?
Because people are they're really narrow-minded, they're sick, they're hateful. People just try to get under people's skins for no reason. But I look at it like, I'm an American. I don't look at people and say, well, they're Jewish or whatever it is. And that's what you've done, Heshy.
All my life. Don't care if you're black, you're
and
white,
remember,
you're
Heshy,
Indian.
you grew up in Bensonhurst.
Yeah.
You grew up with a lot of Italians, a lot of people who weren't religious Jewish, and you helped people, and that's what you're going to do. As the councilman, that's what you're going to do. You're going to help people.
From all over the city.
180,000 people are in our district. Heshy Tischler is going to help everybody.
330,000.
180,000 is council, 330,000 Senate. You're going to help those 180,000 people from Borough Park all the way to almost Marine Park. You're going to be that guy. So if you right now are here, you're in this chat, you're listening to us live, come on down. JustEnoughHeshy@gmail.com, 5318 16th Avenue. Get this man elected because now's the time.
Right.
Now is the time. You have a chance.
I have a question. Who do you think will win the mayor election? Really? I don't think Cuomo will win it.
I'm thinking Brad Lander still.
No, Brad Lander.
Because Cuomo, it's Cuomo.
Cuomo is now, I got you. But
he reminds me of Elliot Spitzer. Remember Elliot Spitzer came back and everybody thought, he's going to win. And then he ran for comptroller and he lost to Scott Stringer. I think
but Spitzer lost because he was caught with a...
But no, after that he came back. And it's the same thing to me with Cuomo. People look at Cuomo, he was this governor, blah, 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 blah.
What about Anthony Weiner?
Anthony Weiner needs help. He needs mental help.
He's coming back. His wife only donated.
He's worse than Cuomo because he had somebody underage. I mean, whoa. Right. And he's raised a lot of money.
Oh, he did?
He raised like $30,000.
Okay, so that just gives him to
matching funds. But he's going to wage a campaign, you know?
Yeah, he's going to do it. I don't know. I don't know what
and
idiots
Superfly
are
says
going.
Ina's doing nothing in my district. Well, Heshy gets elected.
I told you that originally.
But
I told you she was going to. No,
answer.
you're wrong. Ina is doing a lot. She has a couple of boyfriends that she sleeps
Well,
with.
I'm going to save
Heshy.
Happy. I'm going to save you and save Superfly. Next Tuesday, Heshy will help you in your district on those issues. So don't you worry. So forget about Ina.
If I win the election, okay, you know, Ina is already opening a campaign for her Senate run. That means if I lose, Felder wins councilman, his seat becomes vacant, and the Democrats and the Republicans are priming Ina to become the new senator. Now, that's what she's busy with. She's not busy helping you. I told you that in the beginning. Yeah, she makes a video here and there, talks about Colombia, makes a few phone calls and tells people, oh, yeah, you can get a gun. But that's about it. She has done nothing. You don't see her around the streets at all. And when it comes Passover now, while I distribute food every day, you're going to see all these politicians show up and stand by the food distribution centers. You really believe that they're going to sit there a whole day lifting boxes and moving stuff?
You've been lifting hundreds of those boxes.
Thousands.
Hundreds a minute.
Hundreds a week.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
You're looking 500
and that's
month,
what you're going to be as a
5,000.
councilman.
Yeah.
You're going to give us full-time constituent service. You know, 96% of what a city council member does is fixing everyday issues. This is the man that's qualified. I'm not just saying
You
it
know, when I
because
was doing the video, the interview with New York
Yes.
One News,
The interview over.
my phone didn't stop ringing, and I kept apologizing to him. He says, "No,
I
Heshy."
did see that.
He says, "What's going on?" I said, "People call me all day long. It's not only when I'm in the studio. It's when I'm in my office, when I'm in the car, when I'm in the street. I take 200-300 calls, and he couldn't believe I'm picking up call after call. I did hang up on 2 or 3 calls. I said, but that's what I do. I said, my people, my constituents call my phone. I pick it up. They said, really? This is Heshy Tishlai? I don't believe it. Yes, I answer my calls, and when I can't do it, I bring Linda in to answer my calls and put them on hold. And Linda gets up and makes me miserable. Get off the phone. You got to get to the next call. Because we take calls. We're not like other people. And sometimes when I tell you to call back, I am really swamped. I can't take your call.
I met a guy the other day where by the Guild for Exceptional Children block. He said he spoke to you last week on the phone about an issue on his block. So there's people that do speak to Heshy. I can tell you firsthand.
And not 50 calls later. One call.
No, he said, I spoke to Heshy last week. I ran into somebody else today, said they speak to you regularly. I mean, you are somebody that's out there talking to people in this district.
We have one more mayoral candidate. His name is
One more?
No, we have many more. But Zorhan
the guy who's an anti-Semite.
He's a real anti-Semite.
He's a real anti-Semite.
A real leftist. And you guys are giving him money to run for mayor. And he's a Muslim. Now, I have no problem with him being Muslim, but here's my point. He actually tells you he hates Israel. He's a New Yorker.
People are sick. There's sick people out there.
And you're going to let him run? You're going to even give him a shot? And he has a shot. They're saying like 10 or 12%.
Because, again, ranked choice voting. You have to remember, right? You asked me about Cuomo. There's like 15 different serious candidates running for mayor in the Democratic primary. So it's very
let me
conceivable.
give you a scenario.
All right.
You know the only person that's going to win the Republican nomination is Curtis Lever.
Yeah, he's going to win it and get 30% in the general election.
No, forget that.
Okay, all right.
He goes up against Cuomo, loss or win?
Cuomo wins.
Really?
Because the city's too Democratic. Swila does not have the money. He won't have the infrastructure.
He's going to have a lot of...
Republican Party has no machine.
No, it's no machine, but he's going to have a lot of exposure running
Yeah,
against Cuomo.
but
Because
Swila...
Cuomo's going to be all over the place.
Nah, I think Cuomo wins. The city is
Curtis
Democratic.
against Brad Lander.
I think Brad Lander wins.
So Curtis has which candidate can he beat?
None.
Wow.
The city is Democratic. I don't think there's no more days of Bloomberg or Giuliani. And with all due respect to Curtis, he doesn't have the resources. He doesn't have the campaign. The Republican Party in New York City has no machine. They're weak.
The Republican Party.
Look at the Brooklyn Republicans.
Yeah.
They back Democrats. They don't have
back
anybody.
Democrat. They backed this guy, Richie Bassimian, backed the Democrat.
I think
before
they did.
me. And I don't understand. He calls me, I'm your friend, and he talks about God and Hashem. I mean, the man is a pure lie. I thought, okay, I understand politics is a game. But the man lied to my face. The man told me he was going to be fair. He's not a fair man. He's a crook. And when I do get elected, I am never going to he's going to call me and thank me. I hope he does.
I tell you what, I'm waiting for, like I said, after next Tuesday, you have that speech in City Hall like Trump did in Washington.
You're gonna love my
I
speech.
cannot wait.
I have my speech ready, my children. I have my speech ready.
And yeah, time to move that because I'm convinced she said about Swela. I just unfortunately don't think Swela can win a citywide election until somebody tells me otherwise. He doesn't have the money. He runs around with 4 people holding up his signs. You got to go out there and knock on doors. You got to have people giving out, your pamphlets. You got to have mailings out. He doesn't have any of that. Right. I mean, there's the Giuliani and Bloomberg were different. Okay. I don't see it. But that's why you're going to get to city council. We're coming
to the end of the show, so I want to ask you some important questions.
Yes.
Putin and Zelensky, President Trump did somehow make a ceasefire.
He did.
So basically, I know it's not the next day, but he actually has them at ceasefire mode, which means this war can be over, and we will save billions and billions of dollars in this war, and plus people will stop dying. You're right, Putin wants something, but I think Putin will give most of the country back. Just let him have it.
Well, look at all the money we've spent already to Ukraine, and for what? Right. What have we spent? How about our own people? How about helping our own people?
Do you know that Zelensky has a house in Florida and a state?
Oh, and well, he would listen. And Obama and Biden installed it. They're the ones who created this problem. This goes back to 10 years ago.
Obama's daughter makes $3 million a year. How?
But didn't Biden get an agent with Hollywood or something like that? And Kamala Harris, who's talking about her governor.
Where is Biden the last couple of months? Usually a president after he leaves office is still seen in the beginning.
That's a great question. I don't want to know.
He's nowhere.
I don't want to know.
Not out to dinner. Usually they'll take a picture dinner, even though he doesn't.
Would you want to take a picture with that man?
No.
I wouldn't.
No, but still, he was the president.
But I do want to thank our listeners. We're coming close.
She did say that he is lost, and they all knew about it.
Well, I do want to thank our listeners who are about to leave us here, which is WNEW 102.7, WSNR 620, our flagship, and WJPR 1640 in beautiful Miami, Florida. We'll see you next week for the celebration, and thank you so much for tuning in.
And by the way, it's at Amnon's Pizza Tuesday night.
48th and 13th.
Right. If I win, everybody come. We're going to have pizza through the night with French fries and falafel balls. I'm sorry, it's not no fancy steaks, but it's going to be great.
Well, let's hope so.
Yeah. Okay, we discussed the Ukraine issue.
Yes,
I got that.
Okay.
I'm nervous with Ukraine. Why? Russia? Because they could pull in, you have that stupid England, you have Germany.
Yep. 26 countries, formed a thing, right?
Right, so not all the countries agree with Ukraine.
Yeah.
Okay? Mm-hmm. But you're part of the NATO, which means you're going to have to help Ukraine.
Yes.
That means you will go maybe force the European countries into war. You know what I mean? Like the Ireland. I mean, President Trump had to talk to the Irish president. I saw a video how anti-Semitic a lot of Irish are to the Jews.
I mean, people are anti-Semitic.
But like most of the country, they're saying, which I don't understand. Usually, there's always some anti-Semitic everywhere. But Irish people in general get out of their seats and scream and curse at the Jews. Now, here's a place that is in Europe. They'll get drawn into war, and they could lead to a world war. It will affect America.
That's why I always say that, to me, our country's greatest ally has always been Israel. Always been Israel. Israel's always stood with us, whether it was the Gulf War, whether it was the Iraq War.
How many secret,
Afghanistan, Israel was
there. They're letting out secrets from JFK.
Yes.
Just alone, Lee Harvey Oswald, doesn't it make you interested that the man went and defected to Russia, gave up his American citizenship, and came back? And they knew about it, and they were watching him. So if something is wrong, when somebody gives up his citizenship, you don't get it back. No. Yes, you can go there for asylum, but he actually gave up his citizenship and defected to another country. How did we let him back? And 9/11, they're saying something, there's a 7-page report on 9/11.
Well, there's a lot of things that people think, but as far as we know, that there were towers that went into the World Trade Building.
Two problems. How did these losers do it? And number two, okay, we heard the stories. And number two, how did the whole building come down that they say was impossible?
Well, I mean, when we're not alive, we'll find out, I suppose. But Black Beauty wanted to say that this is new. Centuries ago, the Irish were not anti-Semitic. They were Christian. That's an important difference. Yeah. Superfly wanted to know what time on Tuesday for Omnins. I said like 8:30, maybe get there.
No. 9 o'clock is when we win. 9:05, we know the story. Or
Oh,
9:10.
so don't get there yet. So
Right,
if we win
right.
at 9:05, then
We'll
be
tell
there
you
later.
when to come.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't come to Onman's on Tuesday. If we win,
Right.
we'll see you
it's
there.
on 48th Street and
13th
13th Avenue.
Yep, by
And
the D
you'll
train.
be able to get extra cheese on your pizza. I'll make sure of it.
That's funny.
No, they charge for extra cheese.
I know everybody charges extra cheese.
I don't know why. It's just a little sprinkle.
Inflation.
Man.
It's inflation.
Inflation, yes. And you know what? I did see egg prices below $9 for the first time. And then I bought the organic ones. I don't know what.
You with organic eggs? I know you lost weight,
I
but
know that. I don't know what organic egg is. I thought it was something good. I opened it up. It's the same identical egg. What makes it different? That they fed the chicken.
It's a name.
No, they fed the chicken grass instead of seeds. Come on, the egg is the egg.
There are some people in our chat that might like grass for different reasons, but you know.
Okay, very funny, very funny. I want to thank all of you for listening to the show. I'm so excited. Watch my weekly videos. I have a cute video that I'm going to be posting today that will have the 2 interviews that I just did. Not the Channel 12 one, but the New York 1 News, and then the follow-up interview that he had with Cheryl Williams. It'll be editing that, so you can watch that. It'll be my introduction video. I'll be putting on the link to the show and a picture of Cuomo with his crown. You know,
we saw that. Yes, you have pictures out there for that. Now I'm on YouTube myself.
who's going to stop Cuomo? Felder? Felder?
Felders worked with him. No, he's not stopping him.
Thank you for listening. Play that music. Thank you. Good
and I'm
night,
on
my
YouTube at
friends.
Sports Fight Radio 6579. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you next Wednesday, 9.